Saw silver made new all-time highs this morning.
Who did?
Silver.
Oh, I saw Sam tweeting about that.
I mean,
but no, I didn't see silver itself. I just saw Sam tweeting about it.
I mean, I've been talking about how impressed I've been with the resilience in silver, and I really was. I got to tell you, a little surprised how quickly it came back and made new all-time highs.
Steve, what are you doing, man? What is Steve doing? Okay.
What? You haven't heard about the cold front in Florida? It's
No.
freezing cold here. Can't go outside.
The way that the Cubans say, if you go outside, you could get sick.
Yes. That's why they call it a cold. It's what you get when you do that. It's freezing here. So
Strazza wearing his bull market hat.
I'm going to Key West this weekend. Find some warmth in my life.
Are you?
Burr.
I'm going to the city today.
Are you?
Yep.
What are you going to eat?
What do you think?
Sushi. He doesn't dox himself anymore. He used to tell people where he was going. He doesn't do that. He's a big shot now.
No, I can't.
I will bet everyone $5 that Michael Burry announces an ETF in a few weeks.
Seriously?
Well, he shut down his fund, his hedge fund. He teased an announcement in a couple of weeks.
See, all right. I don't know any of this because I'm not kidding when I tell you.
How long does it take? How long does it take for one of these ETFs to be able to short them?
I have my mute on Twitter. I have the word Burry muted on Twitter.
I guess in theory you can do it instantaneously.
You can do it fast.
I think the launch of a fund like that is probably a good short.
The government's back. People are working again. Funds are being approved. Probably do it pretty quick.
I mean, listen, whenever you see one of these crazy people, we've seen it before, launch a fund, you want to short it, right? We've seen this before.
November 25th.
Forget the name of that crazy guy. That crazy guy started and he was shorting all that ARK and Tesla. Remember that loser? And I mean, that was such an easy short.
All right.
What do you guys think? Should we get this party started?
Yeah.
Full market.
That's what my kids say. My 3-year-olds, that's what they say. Daddy, let's get this party started. I'm like, okay.
All right, let's do that. We are live. I'm Spencer. Let's JC and Steve on the end. Big show today. Jeff Mackey's going to stop by. Sean McLaughlin will stop by. Kenny Glick will stop by. We have earnings. We have commodities. We have news. Lots of things. We have charts. Of course, we always have charts. If you're watching us on YouTube, do me a quick favor. Hit the thumbs up. I would appreciate that. Guys, what's going on today?
Congratulations, first of all, to Cisco, one of the latest legacy tech stocks, just about back at those old .com bubble highs. 30 years
25
ago.
years, not bad.
30 years ago, remember, Cisco was the Palantir or the NVIDIA of their day, really. Cisco was the NVIDIA. It was the one you had to own. It was the most excited and had the biggest margins of anybody, right? That was the single greatest tech stock. And then it took 30 full years, 3 decades, to work off that massive drawdown after the bubble. And now we're finally back there. So I think this is like symbolic in a way that like tech is back. You know, even Cisco.
Oh, see, that depends on your point of view because you could look at this and say, "Oh, I've seen this play. I've seen this play before." Right? Cisco back up to these levels.
Yeah, okay. But you want to know something? When you have these legacy tech companies getting to these levels, what I like to do is I like to look at the other ones and see how they've, performed when they've gotten to these levels. And you see names like IBM.
Yeah,
some of these others, they've gotten there, acknowledged those levels, and then exceeded them. Right?
And you only need a crude visual, like a line chart, Spencer, to see that this time is not like last time. Just look at the line over on the left-hand side of the chart and look at the line today. Very different price action. You could see the bubble back then.
And I liked what David Lundgren, I think it was David Lundgren last week, who said, and like the funny thing about the .com bubble or like Cisco, for example, is that all those people, all those investors ended up being right in the sense that Cisco grew. It grew for years, right? But it grew into the stock price, right? The growth was already priced in and then some. So
isn't it so much better just ignore whatever the company's doing?
Well, yeah, but like
that way you don't have to worry about any of that growing into the stock. The stock's the only thing that matters.
Well, so that's what his point was. They were right, but they were wrong, right? Because they were right in the sense that yes, Cisco was a hugely important company for the infrastructure of the internet, and it did grow over time, kind of like Microsoft and Amazon. But the stock price, it sucked. So
do you know what the tech sector profit share of the S&P 500 was back then versus today? Can you guys take some guesses?
Probably like 1%.
No, it was 15% back then.
Oh, okay.
Today it's 60. It's over 60% today when you include the real tech companies, like you take the Amazon and the communications companies and treat them as tech. So you could very easily argue that back then it was companies like pets.com. And I went through the top 10 tech companies just looking at their valuation metrics from back in 2000. I didn't know half of them. Lucent Technologies, all these other companies I've literally never heard of that are gone today. And they didn't have the margins like the companies today. They weren't absolute cash cows. They weren't masters of the universe companies like printing money, have more money than God, like the way the Mag 7s are built today.
I'm glad you brought that up, Steve. I'm glad you brought this up because on this day in 1998, the Globe.com had its IPO.
What?
It opened for shit. It opened for trading at I'm sorry. The IPO was priced at 9, and it got as high as 97 that day. Closed is 63.50. The IPO gave the Globe.com an $880 million market cap. They had a net loss of $11 million that year.
That was a lot. That was a lot of market cap.
A lot more back. Yeah.
Yeah, $880 million on a negative $11 million of revenue. Right?
All right. Can I say something? Okay.
Sure.
Here's the lesson.
Where?
To dilute something as pure and factual as price with something as arbitrary as an earnings estimate or GDP or whatever the fuck a Q ratio is or a CAPE or what. I think they're just making things up at this point just to troll me. But to dilute price with any of these things is psychotic. So the lesson is, look at price, don't dilute it with all the other garbage, and then be grateful that humans look at this chart where Bloomberg is telling your parents that U.S. stock valuations have never been higher, and they get so angry that they can't even think straight. They can't even live life knowing that this line is going up. They just cannot deal.
Dude,
these psychotic individuals, we just want to be grateful that they exist and we want to keep them alive. So if you find one of these creatures, make sure they're fed and clothed and have shelter because we need them alive and well. Because if it wasn't for them, stock prices wouldn't be as high as they are today.
Who made this chart, JC?
Bloomberg.
This is absolute trash. This is chart porn. If you go look at a real valuation chart, like our friend Robert has them for free on macro trends, you see that during the dot-com bubble, things got absolutely ridiculous. Whatever Bloomberg had to do by adding, what's a Q ratio, by the way?
Dude, I'm telling you, they're just making things up to troll me. I'm telling
whatever
you.
They did with this
what's a cape
of valuation metrics.
A Superman? Batman, they got capes.
I've actually heard of CAPE. I don't know what Q is, but CAPE I do know.
Dude, Q ratio?
Yeah, CAPE is from Robert Schiller.
Crap chart.
I think it's in the LBTGQ, they keep adding letters. I think this is one of those.
They just made a trash can of valuation metrics until they could make the lines all peak at the same time.
Wow, a trash can of valuation metrics.
Because if you go back and you just look at
this just in. CAPE is cyclically adjusted PE.
Yeah, we know what it is.
Sounds terrible.
10 years too. It's ridiculous. Terrible chart.
Terrible chart. Do better, Bloomberg. All right, can we talk about something important and then we'll do a state of the markets, or you want to do state of the markets first?
We've talked about valuations for the first 11 minutes of the show. I think that's a new personal record.
It's a lot.
For all of us.
Yeah, we should stop doing that because remember, we're the only morning show that's still around. They're
I'm sorry.
canceling morning shows left and right. Nobody watches any of that crap. Everybody's here. They're not here for the valuations. Let's give the people what they want. Hit it, Spencer. Hit it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, after closing at new all-time highs, is now down about 0.25%. 48,230. We got S&P futures down 0.33%, 6850. We got the NASDAQ down about 40 bips. That's 25,512. 30-year bond futures down 0.33%, 117 and change. Crude oil up 1% after getting hit yesterday, 59 and change. Copper up 0.5%, still rolling, 513. Gold up 0.5%, 42.30. Silver down about 40 basis points, 53 and a quarter. All-time highs this morning, with the VIX still above 18. Wow, how is that possible? Bitcoin 102,500, up almost 4% on the day. Ethereum up almost 1%, 34.40. And you got Solana 154, up 60 basis points, with a total crypto market cap, Mr. Spencer Israel, 3.42 trillion. How do we feel about this morning's futures?
I don't know. Fine, I guess. Yeah.
I thought Alfonso wrote a lovely post this morning about just what's become a very prolonged divergence between Bitcoin and NASDAQ 100, or really any stock index.
Yeah.
At this point, I think the way you have to think about it is that these are short-term tops in crypto. What kind of reaction leg lower that brings, we'll see, right? But for now, those are tops. You got to treat them like tops. And it's a question of, it ain't bullish for the NASDAQ 100 for growth stocks. So it's a question of just how bearish is it? And you have to weigh that evidence as you deem appropriate.
All right. I don't know why it's taken us 13 minutes to get to what's actually important, and that is silver making new all-time highs this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, can you please throw up slide 3? There it is. This is silver priced in the old American dollar. This is the priced in greenbacks.
I think
chart.
maybe in honor of the death of the penny, we should price this in pennies and see.
Is the penny officially dead?
Do I just not get any news?
Well, they're not making any more of them, so I guess in that sense, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So when you think about silver, it's like, all right, we're back to the 2011 highs, and I know a lot of you youngsters were not around in 2011. These silver surfers were fucking crazy. If you think these quantum people and, you know, these crypto laser eyes and all that, if you think they're crazy, dude, you should have seen these silver people back in 2010, 2011. It was wild. I'm telling you guys. For those of you who are around, you remember. For you youngsters, I'm telling you, these guys were nuts.
Part of the qualification for being in a specific kind of trade is you have to give yourself a name. Like, you can't just like gold. You have to be a gold bug. You can't just like silver. You got to be a silver surfer, right?
Be laser eyes.
I don't know who comes up with these names. I like them. I support them.
I believe Silver Surfer was Sam Lee.
Okay, excellent.
Stan Lee, right?
No, what? That was the guy. Yeah, that was the comic book guy. Yeah. No, I like how
Gold Bugs is a bag
every
of
trade,
unhedged gold stocks. So
every trade needs a name behind it. So Silver Surfers, let's go.
All right, so let's think about things like Earthlings and not so much like Americans, right? So if you go to the next chart there, we can see what silver is doing relative to those 2011 highs, price and all the other currencies. So if you want to zoom in there, Spencer, you can see silver already exceeding those 2011 highs, priced in euro, priced in British pounds, priced in Japanese yen, priced in Aussie, CAD, even Chinese yuan. Silver has already exceeded those former highs priced in all those other currencies. So my question is this. You think silver's not going to do this in the dollar like it's doing in everything else? Or is it ultimately inevitable? Like gold. Go to the next chart. So this was my gold analysis back in April of last year. Before gold broke out to new all-time highs in the dollar, gold was already making new highs in euro, pounds, Swiss franc, Aussie, CAD, yuan, rupee, South African rand, yen, all of them. So this analysis helped us get long gold, and obviously that worked very well. So I'm doing the same thing in silver. Is that, you think that's wrong? You think that's right?
I think it's perfect. It makes
Perfect.
the most sense ever. And don't call it a comeback because silver gold ratio now completing a major reversal pattern on the cusp of a big, big reversal there. So I think this is the one now, right? Just like Salama was saying yesterday, it's silver now.
Silver just hit the silver gold ratio. Just hit new
Looks
52-week
great.
highs.
Looks fantastic.
Does it though?
Yeah, I think it's breaking out of that range, showing
Yeah.
some great momentum.
All right. I mean, it's still kind of messy to me, but that's fine. I get you. But you like my changing the denominator? You think that's okay?
Yeah, it's great analysis. And
No
in
pushback there at all.
no,
All
no,
right.
you know,
I get
I
accused
love
of
that.
cherry picking,
No, that's good stuff.
All right. I
No,
included a well-diversified basket of currencies there.
yeah, you did.
You like how I threw in the yuan in there? A little how you
Great
doing?
mix. There was no ringgit, right? So really very little Southeast Asia representation, but that's
Do
okay.
you think I should have thrown the Malaysian ringgit?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Look, but in other miners, Bitcoin miners, on the other hand, not showing positive momentum, showing some very, very bearish momentum, breaking down tactical tops, starting to confirm the action that we're seeing in crypto spot markets. I think you got to get the hell away from these things. JC, even the good ones, I'm cutting out of. I'm done. I'm not going to be greedy here. Cypher, I ran of tiny positions.
I'm not in either one of those.
Cypher.
I sold the Cypher recently, and
Yeah,
I've never actually traded IREN.
I think I held hot, but like I had 15 of these things, and they're all gone now. It was a good trade, but I think it's a very extended trade, and it's showing near term just terrible, tremendous weakness.
Is
I held it.
MSTR going to blow up?
I think it's a question of when this ends and how it ends. But yeah, it's coming.
Steve, do you have any like support in mind for any of those names, or you don't even care?
I'm done with them for now.
Okay.
We'll revisit it, right? I still think longer term, if we do end up having some sort of prolonged bull cycle and crypto starts to cooperate again, that a lot of them have very natural targets at their prior cycle highs that have not been achieved yet. So if a couple months, quarters from now, they set back up, sure, I'll get back in and I'll be looking at some prior cycle highs as targets.
Yeah. How do you know you'll see it in price?
But for now, I'm good. I'm good with that group. There's other stuff starting to work where I'd rather be. Crypto clearly taking a breather for now.
Here, I want to show this. This is a big deal, I think. So
Wow.
throw up the new slide too, if you will, guys.
Yeah, and it's funny, who just said that? Robert says Cisco ripping, crypto flailing. What a time! I was joking with Patrick last night. If I told you, JC, if I told you back at 2022 lows, hey man, it's a brand new bull cycle. It's starting today. Choose your fighter. You get to pick either Bitcoin or Deutsche Bank. What'd you say to me?
I mean, in this market, Deutsche Bank.
No.
He would have picked Deutsche Bank, Spencer.
Dude, Deutsche Bank looks great.
My point is, Deutsche Bank is up over 400% just this cycle. So you have been far better off in legacy tech stocks, TradFi. Sorry, laser eyes.
All right.
The traditional banks.
So look, new
done you better
52-week
than some of the
lows for MicroStrategy relative to IBIT. You see that top up there? You see that top in this ratio? That was the day. I know you guys know, but for those of you listening at home, that was the day that options trading started in IBIT. Literally to the day, right? So essentially the market telling us that it doesn't need Saylor or his strategy. So, I mean, listen, I don't have a horse in the race. I really don't give a shit about any of these people. Me, selfishly, the trade is the same. The trade has and still is. The day that MicroStrategy blows up, if and when that happens, it's looking more and more likely every day, you buy Bitcoin. That's the trade. We've always said that. I'm saying it today. Strazza, you've always agreed. Do you still agree?
Yes, but I don't know if it's that very day. Let it
I
collapse.
was gonna say it's probably
let
like
there be a
a couple
knock-on
days
I
later.
don't know, man.
There
I
could
think
be
you
some
gotta.
serious-
I think you gotta like average down because I think it's gonna be a swoosh.
We've never seen
I
such
think
a.
I think you gotta have crazy limit orders in Bitcoin and see
This
if
is
like you get
God.
filled.
Oh god.
This will be very
You know?
different than FTX going away. We've never seen systemic risk like this in this asset class, and I would venture to think that compared to traditional markets and the infrastructure that we're all used to having, that things are very fragile still for crypto as an asset class. So it will be interesting to see what happens.
Well, it's
I think it'll be
3.4
the biggest
trillion, so it might as
moment
well be zero. It doesn't actually
It-
matter. So yeah,
if
super
and when
fragile.
if MicroStrategy has to liquidate. It'll be the biggest moment for crypto in the history of crypto. How that all unfolds. Period.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably right. I would love for it to happen over the weekend where Bitcoin is getting destroyed and then MicroStrategy files for bankruptcy on Monday. Like that'd be cool.
Blow up ultimately means that something happens here. They get called on their convertibles and they have to liquidate their positions. And if they do liquidate, they are by far the biggest holder of Bitcoin. They're going to dump it on the market, and that will cause.
And just to be clear, me and Strazza don't know anything about any of these convertible debts. We don't care. We have no horse in the race. It could go to zero. It could go to the moon. We're good either way. It's just if that were to occur for whatever the reason, we buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Right.
And you follow them, and you follow the market in a situation like this, JC, because there are people out there who are going to be smart enough, who are digging in, who are going to figure this out, and they're going to short the hell out of it if that's the right move. And you're going to see it in price.
Yeah.
And you've been seeing it in price. In fact, MicroStrategy was the single greatest indicator for Bitcoin and crypto for the last 3-4 months. If you just looked at a chart of MicroStrategy, it would have kept you out of Bitcoin.
All right, I got one more.
I was just going to add
Throw up
that
this one.
Bitcoin technically bottomed 11 days after the FTX bankruptcy filing, so it took a little bit. But if you bought it like one of those days, it was up to 10%. You know what I mean? so, all right. Anyway, JC, what do you got? And then we'll bring out Kenny.
Throw up the slide 3 there. I wanted to talk to Strazza about this because this is
Sounds bottom.
you know, I mean, I think there's really something here. You know, so you know, hearing a lot about weak breath. You had DeSantis. What's that guy? Ron. His name is Ron, I think.
Ron
DeSantis.
What did you do
now? About weak market breath. And then last week on that podcast, the All In podcast, I think it's called All In. And then you've got these venture capitalists literally lying to their audience, which I thought was surprising. You have these guys telling everybody that it's only 7 stocks that are dominating returns and nothing else is going up. Like literally I think it's the #1 podcast in America.
Were they saying only 7 stocks are going up, or simply that market breadth is deteriorating and isn't as good?
All of that. And basically saying that, you know, the equally weighted indexes aren't doing anything. Like, I don't know if like they were just lazy and didn't bother to look, or they're like actually lying to people. I'm not really sure. So we're looking at
we've had some pretty good guests come on our show and tell us that breadth is weak too.
Well, they're saying that only 7 stocks are that are going up and nothing else is working, and the equally weighted indexes aren't moving. So here, this is the next gen 100. So this takes the largest 100 companies in the NASDAQ, takes them out of the equation altogether, and then takes the next 100. And it's making new all-time highs. So that can't be too bad.
I remember when they launched this fund, it seemed like a really good idea. I owned it for a little while, but it has sucked for its entire history. This is a 5-year-old fund, right?
It's doubled in the last couple of years. JC, so I mean, it's not that bad.
JC, tell him. You don't really want to own the equal weight funds, Spencer. You want to look at them for information. You want to own the cap weight funds. You want to own momentum.
But this is all fake news, because the equally weighted S&P 500 is up 9% this year. The equally weighted NASDAQ's up 12%. Equally weighted Dow is up 14%.
Yeah, but the cap weight is up more.
Thank you, Steve.
So what?
What do you mean, so what? I'm saying, which ones would you prefer to own?
No, fine. No one's arguing with you. Obviously, you want to own the market cap because the market cap ones buy more of the best ones and kick out the small ones. So that's just a momentum strategy. But what I'm saying is eliminate all of those stocks and look at it on an equally weighted basis. They're putting up record returns.
Okay.
What are people so angry about?
No, fine, fair. Will you agree that market breadth has been weak? It's been
Absolutely
improving in the
not.
past
Why
couple
would I say
days.
that?
Okay, well, Harminder makes a good point. A lot of CMTs are saying that breadth is weak, not just normal.
Okay, and most CMTs are broke.
Okay.
We go to these conferences, all these CMTs are always looking for jobs. They're emailing us all the time looking for jobs. By the way, there's CFAs out there that do shitty fundamental analysis too.
These are our
weak,
sir.
Breath is weak or breath is weaker?
Well, we know that breath is not weak.
It's
over 60% of the New York Stock Exchange is above the 200-day moving average. The Russell 2000 is at all-time highs. There's nothing weak about that.
Didn't a man just come on and show you a study about how that is like historically super weak based on other bull cycles? Someone was
60% of the New York Stock Exchange in an uptrend. No, that's perfect.
Spencer, were you okay? Maybe I heard wrong.
All right. So listen, hold on. So we looked at the equally weighted indexes this year, but what's interesting is that last year the equally weighted Dow was up 14%, equally weighted S&P 13%, and the equally weighted NASDAQ up 9%. The year before, it was 15%, 13%, and 33%. I don't understand what's so bearish about the equally weighted indexes putting up record returns year after year after year. What's so bearish about that? What's so weak about that market, bro?
You're trying to have a conversation that nobody wants to have with you. No one is saying any of this is bearish. What I am saying,
yes, they are. I was listening to a podcast.
You have refused to acknowledge for months now that market breadth has been deteriorating.
First of all, the percentage of stocks on the New York Stock Exchange above their 200-day peaked on September 11th. I was the first one to say that.
Oh,
but that just because you don't have the most participation doesn't mean it's weak breadth.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Is weak or is it simply just weaker?
No. So if you have 1,000 new 52-week highs and the next day you have 990, is breadth weakening? No.
Well, yes.
I want to enter new long positions and increase long exposure simply in an environment where breadth is expanding. So the past couple months for me have been rough because breadth has been deteriorating rather consistently. Okay. JC, I don't disagree with you. I'm not going to tell you that the market internals backdrop is flat out bearish. It's not.
There are more countries around the world making all-time highs than in like any point in the last like 25 years or something crazy.
When I see
more stocks going up, not fewer.
I'm trying to explain to you why I care about this and what I do with this information. When I see the environment turning to a new environment where breadth starts to improve, right, consistently for not just a couple days, but a couple weeks, then I know, okay, this is an environment that's conducive to me adding more risk. And then I'll get more aggressive, put more long exposure on, probably even stop putting short exposure on. But that's like, I got to see it. And I think we're starting to, but that's the way I'm thinking about it. I don't want to see it continuing to deteriorate.
Les says, JC, are you becoming less and less tactical? I don't know if this is the same JC would have called the rotation into treasuries before COVID because breadth was weak. Well,
tactics.
Well, if you recall, there was massive breadth divergence taking place before COVID. I mean, we were very short. We were buying treasury bonds, and it had nothing to do with viruses or, vaccines. We don't know anything about that. We probably know less now. But there was real weakness taking place at the time, and we're not seeing that at all. European banks are at all-time highs. What are we talking about here? This is sector rotation. 3 months ago, we talked about healthcare. You guys looked at me like I was fucking crazy. Remember?
Deutsche Bank is the new Dogecoin.
All right. Can I bring Kenny out?
Please.
It's been a long time coming. They ain't come from my club, they took it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Hold up. Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Kenny Glick.
Are we doing this? You want to talk about some shitty ETFs? How about QYLD?
What is that?
QYLD was the idea is that the ETF was going to write calls against the stocks that are in the QQQ, and it's a disaster. So even though the market's gone up pretty much every day since this thing has been launched, it is just terrible, and they've done a very, very bad job. So again,
well, you're also getting paid, Kenny.
Why?
That's the point.
Getting paid?
What they're supposed to generate income inside the fund, and the fund's supposed to, you're not getting those dividends, are you?
I'm pretty sure that's the point.
I don't know. I don't think so because my
Total
dad,
returns up
my dad
5%.
says
You
it's
would
the worst
you
thing
would have
he's
just
ever
owned
bought.
the Nasdaq instead of trying to get cute.
I think the point is the dividend.
I don't think it's working out because my dad's complaining about
Whatever.
it.
The Nasdaq's up 20% this year, the Qs, and this disaster is only up 5%, and that's total return.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about it, but my dad took some money out of the Qs to buy some of this just to test it out, and he's very unhappy about it. But it's the only thing he's done wrong in 20 years. So cheers to my dad. What's up, y'all?
Oil, gold, the VIX.
Let's talk about silver, baby. Come on.
Euro.
Who's got that silver? I bought some more yesterday.
Dude, I bought silver when I was in Vegas. Remember, I bought those silver coins. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, that's the top.
No, you
As it
almost
turns
did
out,
it.
it was not.
You almost topped it out.
I almost opted out. You know, I want to get the heavy one. I think it's like 100 ounces.
Oh yeah, you gotta get.
Do you have one of those?
I got this is a kilogram coin, which is pretty awesome because
I don't know what the fuck a kilogram is, bro. Kilogram is for Europe. Kilograms are for Europeans and drug dealers. I am neither.
There you go. You want this bad boy?
Dude, that thing is huge. It's like a coaster.
You could use it as a weapon too. Yeah. Oh, it's got some weight to it. Yeah.
So is it the 1,000-ounce one?
A kilogram? What is a kilogram?
Oh, it's not 1,000. It's 100. 100
yeah,
ounces is $5,000. That's the big one. The 100 ounces.
Yeah, I've been buying 5-ounce maples now. They just put some 5-ounce maples out, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I've been buying bullion now. I've been buying bricks. So
yeah, what do you do with these things?
I just throw them in my safe downstairs with next to my guns. And
what's the code?
2222.
That's right. And your address? Yeah. So all right, talk to me about what's moving this morning.
I'm still crushing on these quantum stocks. You know, the fad is over. You know, I was in before. Nobody cared about these stocks, and then when everybody started caring about them, that's when it was a good time to start selling them. But now the slaughter is just getting a little bit exciting now because there's going to be a turn one of these days. They're going to have a nice turn, but not right now. But just crushing rigatoni right now. And if you guys talk about ETFs, there is the short ETFs. You don't even have to short the stock. You just buy RGTZ, and that goes up while rigatoni is going down and the rest of the quantum. The one I'm looking at is QTUM. It's a really interesting ETF. It's a quantum ETF, but there's so many good stocks in there that even though quantum's getting hammered, this thing really hasn't given way. It's very illiquid, but I'm short right now, just waiting to see if it gives back 4 or 5 points. But on the earnings front, all about, I'm looking at Serve and Cisco. Cisco, speaking to my father, 26 years later, it's almost at all-time highs. So if you were a bag holder 20 years ago, congratulations, you made it. But I am looking to short it this morning. So, I missed an opportunity already. There's a really weird print on it. But, again, just looking to play some fades. Market's kind of, like you said, transitioning out of tech a little bit into the Dow and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, I'm short the Qs.
Transitioning out of tech and into the Dow.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it when I'm short the Qs. I feel dirty now.
Do you? Why?
Yeah, because it's just
like you're doing something a little naughty.
Yeah, it's like a bad trade, but it's been working the last couple of days. Except you got to keep in mind that shorting is short-lived, and you got to die because it's very difficult to stay short. We've been getting paid, but man, if you're not nimble, you're going to give it all back. And what else we got? We got Cisco, we got Serve, we got and again,
Serve is the robotics company. Didn't this used to be part of Uber, or am I wrong? I just making that up? Is that?
I think they're one of those robot companies where the little dude brings the food to you on the campuses. I think that's what they do. They're part of that.
Little dude.
Yeah.
How do you know that it is a male robot?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Forget it. Sorry, I used that term. But more importantly, if you guys are not trading open, you are missing out on the party of 2025. This has been the greatest trading stock by far. Every time it gets sold off, the buyers come back, and then when it gets a little bit over exuberant, they sell it off. It has half-point options, weekly options. It's the greatest stock to trade so far in 2025, and I'll be going back to it today as well. So this
is one of those examples where, rather than trying to be the smartest person, if you just find who the worst investors in the world are and then just do the opposite of them, it's really advantageous. And, as a keen observer of market participants, I can assure you the worst humans on this planet are spending their days telling everybody to short this stock. So guess what we've been doing instead, right?
But there's an equal group of psychos out there talking about this stock going to 120, 150. They're putting these outrageous targets. That's why I want to hate these people, because I hate when they throw those numbers out there. But the stock is phenomenal to trade. Liquidity.
Short interest. I look at the rate of change of short interest. There are very few stocks in the market where short interest is increasing faster than an open door.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, they're getting hammered this week. That's for sure. It's been a great trade.
I don't understand why you would short the stock, but
because Spencer, it's very easy story for people to wrap their heads around that nobody's going to buy a house without looking at.
People, the simpletons need a story they can wrap their heads around, and these idiots can wrap their heads around a bear case for this, despite the historic short interest. That's why
it's crazy.
Hey, listen, I just covered some news. We just
tell them what the simpletons are doing, Strazza.
617.50. The simpletons, I'll tell you what the simpletons are doing. They're thinking that this market has a chance to go down, but I'm one of them. So this Oracle trade really just, I'm telling you, that blow off top on Oracle, I just think it's going to translate to the QQQ, and I'm waiting for that 10%, because what Oracle did, that ridiculous gap on the earnings has been completely sold off. I just think that's what's in store for the Qs.
Hey, this is an interesting point. And somebody asked about this in the chat earlier. They said, should we basically take that price action from Oracle in a way like Kenny's describing, like as a bearish indicator for the broader market? If you asked me that a year ago, I would have laughed. I said, Oracle? No. But now it has become like systemically important AI story stock.
Right.
So I think you're onto something there.
I think it's hit. It's just like the Qs. And again, I just covered some at 617.50. Hey, look at us making money short. Again, it's been a bad premise because it was like 2 months ago. I thought that would hit the market a little bit more. Now it's starting to trickle in because we lost momentum in the rigatonis and the quantum stocks and the metals and all that stuff. It's just like they're the Qs are the king. You got to send in the Irish, like we spoke about this last week. You got to annihilate everybody. The breath again. I'm with the breath is weak party. Again, I'm bearish.
What's weak about 2/3 of the New York Stock Exchange in an uptrend?
The way that I look at it right now, I listen to your point. I look at, let's say, 150 stocks a day regularly, right? 130 of them have been red almost every day. So to me, there's something going on.
But what type of stocks are you looking at, Kevin?
I'm looking at everything. I mean, the quantums, the space, the rockets, the robots.
Everything. The quantum, the space, the rockets, all of them.
The momentum names that have been trading really, really well over this last year.
First of all, you can include financials and healthcare and momentum names.
I don't care about that. The pump and dumps are getting done.
Okay, fine, but those are the ones with the highest momentum.
He's spot on. The stocks that traders have been trading, the highest beta, most risk-on stocks you could find, the ones that have been working the best, have been absolutely blasted. Rigetti was our best trade of the year less than a fucking month ago. It's down 55% today.
Right.
This is a $10 billion irrelevant company.
Right. And listen. Look, the Qs are working right now. Can I just have my moment? Just give me. I just want 25 points to the downside on the Qs, and you can have your bull market back. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys tonight.
It's so hard to get a drawdown out of that index. Kenny, I bought some Ion Q puts yesterday.
Good. Yes. Crushed the Cisco too, by the way. All these bag holders have been waiting for this moment to get out from 22 years ago. So anyway, as Cisco goes, as the Qs are going right now, and again, like I said, I just give me. And when we had this conversation 2 weeks ago, when I said I'm getting short now, and you said, "Oh, in the most bullish time of the year," it's ironic because we made it through September, we made it through October. It makes sense, I guess, right now. I don't want to say that out loud because shorting has been short-lived and you're going to die. But right this moment, friends, I'm coming for you, and I'm winning. So good luck. I'll see you guys tonight.
Kenny's open house starts tonight, 8 p.m. The link is in the chat. It was on the screen before. And also a QR code. Kenny, we'll see you tonight.
All right, shorting Cisco, shorting the Qs, making money later.
I'm going on with Kenny Friday. I'm excited for that.
Nice.
And he's probably right about Cisco. We'll be profit taking on Cisco as soon as the bell rings here in 20 minutes. And speaking of seasonality, I got to tell you, I'm very disappointed. I'm going to the Money Show in Sarasota in 3 weeks at the
60% of the S&P 500 is in an uptrend also, by the way. Is that not enough?
Can I plug my fucking presentation, please?
Yeah, go meet Strazza, the Florida man in Florida.
No, it's a nice one. It's a more intimate money show than most of them. It's a little smaller, more professional, institutionally focused from what I hear. It's at the Ritz, so I'll be there. And I'm super disappointed. I was thinking of seasonality because I like going to money shows. I almost always get to hang out with Jeff Hirsch, but he won't be there. He just had his hip replaced, actually. I thought we'd play golf, and now it's all screwed. No golf for me.
All right, go hang out with Steve at the Money Show. Wait, when is that? February? January?
That'll be December 1st, and then so the presentation's in the afternoon, I think like 2 o'clock, and then we're gonna have a happy hour right after somewhere nearby.
Cool. All right, we got Jeff Macke in the house. Jeff is gearing up for like the biggest week of his life apparently next week, and actually, there's a pretty good reason why. I know we always joke about like this week being important, but like there was an actual reason why next week is more important than most for Jeff. So
Jeff is so good to talk. I can't wait. Bring him on.
Yeah.
Bring him out. Yo, Jay, we've been friends for a long time. Make the call.
I mean, this is pretty professional, guys.
Nice show you got going here.
Mr. Macke.
What's up, boys? Good
Jeff.
to see you. How you guys doing today? Biggest week of my life coming up. I love it being sold that way. It's my daughter's birthday. That was also a pretty big week. You know, your anniversary is kind of big, but next week that's going to be peak Macke. That is, we're calling.
Hold on.
Lives for Black
Can we rewind
Friday.
for 1 second before we get into the retail? I know you're getting all excited.
I'm excited.
You get yourself a bagel or a slice of pizza, or you're still going?
What's that? Oh, I'm carb free, baby. Carb free and
Dude,
just
the other
turtle.
day at a meeting, Macke was like, dude, what I would give for a bagel right now, man.
I would murder someone for a bagel right now.
I had one this
for a
morning,
bagel
Jeff.
with some cream cheese. I would honestly fight you right in the street. And I don't care. It's just like bring it. But
Dude,
you know what?
the mind is a powerful thing. The first time I went to India, they don't have meat there, right? Dude, I would have, by the end of that trip, I would have literally murdered someone for a cheeseburger. And now I'm in the airport in India and I see a Burger King. I'm like, oh my God, there's a Burger King. I'm going to get all the burgers. I get to the front of the line. No meat in the burgers, even at Burger King. Literally, I almost ran my head into the wall. Dude,
Why would you
know
open
the
a place
feeling.
called Burger King? No meat? What the hell are you doing there?
They had mutton.
Come on.
I know, it's terrible. So the point is the mind and the body, like the withdrawals are real. They're real.
Oh yeah, I'm knocking like Keith Richards. I'm going through a freaking withdrawal like crazy, just curling up in the corner.
Wow,
vicious.
Keith
I got the
Richards
fever.
catching
I'm getting a
strays.
little better though. I'm getting it's starting to feel a little better. Like day 4 is kind of where you get peaks early. I'm post that, so it's good. We're good.
I'm
man. We're
rooting
good.
for you, Jeff. I'm rooting for you.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank
Anyway,
you.
just wanted to have a good little laugh there for you. All right. We got a bull market on our hands here, Jeff. I don't know if you heard. And
yeah, I've been living in the retailer, so I heard about it. You know, I've been trading open because I can kind of say, they're selling houses, and the stock is just a goddamn rocket ship. So that gets me in the door anyway.
Is
but I'm
Drake
listening to
bought
Disney,
any yet or no?
They kind of suck. I got both my kids in it, and they think I'm honest to God just the best investor in the world. They're just like I'm like, well, I talked to my friend Eric last summer, and he was like, hey, you should buy some of this open. And that's my entire thesis. So it's fine. But,
don't worry,
but
kids. Uncle Eric says it was okay.
Yeah, my Canadian friend. He's the guy I know in Canada. He's my Toronto hookup. But
that guy standing outside Drake's house, that's our boy.
That's our boy. I know you're a Disney boy. I'm listening to them this morning. They're not so good. The parks aren't so red hot. They're complaining about linear TV, but that's not a surprise. There are fewer cable boxes. No kidding. I think the street was onto that before we got into the call. The parks weren't that strong. You know what was strong? The cruise ships. Cruise ships were great, but that's the world I live in. We haven't had economic data in a month and a half. You shut down the government, and you have no idea. Is there inflation?
I kind of like it. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, they came out and said you might. They came out and said you might never get it, Jeff.
Right.
You might
We're
never
never
get
getting it again. And I kind of don't care because I bet you can save a lot of money firing the government economist and just make them analyze Walmart. That's why it's the biggest week next week. I know we buried the lead a little bit. Walmart reports they're the biggest damn retailer in the world. Number one employer on earth, except for like 3 militaries. Except for the U.S., Indian, Chinese military. Those are the only bigger employers than Walmart. They're every economic indicator you need. They're the biggest grocer by like 3x. Kroger's is
Selfishly?
number 2.
Wow,
They
is
do like
that
9
true?
billion.
I didn't know that.
Yes,
You
that's
always
true.
coming in with the fun facts about Walmart. I like it.
It's just
Jeff.
fun things to know. I got fun facts about all kinds of stuff, but in this case, it actually matters because if you want to know if there's inflation, they're going to tell you, and they're not going to lie, and they're not going to smear it. And Doug McMillan has more money than God at this point, so he's going to tell you the truth. If there's inflation, he's going to tell you, and they've told you all along. The tariffs are going to start bleeding through. That's going to affect people's Christmas. How much? We don't know exactly yet, but we're going to hear the government shutdown. That matters, but we haven't been able to really get our hands around it because there's no data. Well, when the retailers report, they got to tell you. They got to tell you in real time, and they also have to tell you what's happening right now. And so it matters more. It's a much better indicator than the UMISH survey, the BLS. Fire everybody who assembles all that crap and just let the retailers report.
I want to go back.
Mackie, I'll
Hold on,
let you
Steve.
go, Steve, but I just wanted to mention a win here for the family. I convinced my wife that we did not need to have the season pass for Disney.
Beautiful.
No matter
Beautiful.
how many discounts we get.
Talk
So
about a big family moment. Talk about that. We went through that a few years ago. It's glorious.
Yeah,
It's
but
like,
you want to know
what? Maybe we
something?
don't need.
I
Yeah.
played it well. I let her come to the conclusion. I just helped her, with some information. And she's like, I thought about it. We don't need it. And I was like, one for the
God,
good
that
guys
is,
there.
that is world-class husbandry work there, man.
You like that?
That's
You like that? I knew
championship
you'd be
stuff.
proud of me.
Yeah. You are precocious as a husband. That's incredible.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Anyway,
I'll
one
tell
for
you
the good guys.
another fun fact. Our man Higgins there, he mentions it. Walmart biggest beneficiary of SNAP. 26% of all their SNAP dollars go directly to Walmart just because they're the biggest grocer and that's kind of their customer base. So we're going to see, okay, did the government restart again? It's once they started saying, okay, we're going to pay people. Well, A, they haven't started yet. But B, how fast does that spending come back? The truth is it comes back really fast typically. So we might be just in time to save Christmas. But the real trade here is going to be how fast does the corporate spending come back when you restart the airports? That smashes the crap out of Uber. That smashes the crap out of all the airlines. Once you make it harder to travel, once you say, you know what, we're going to delay 15% of the flights, maybe 20% of the flights, corporations just say, screw it, we're not flying. We just don't give a crap. And so
The price action there in the airlines, I think, has been very bullish through all of this. If you're just looking at the front page of the newspaper, reading about the air traffic controller shit, you would think the airlines are going to be getting smacked around. They're set up great. They look really good.
And they have a gorgeous excuse built in, Strazza, for now they can report this quarter and they could say, you know what, you shut down air traffic control, so we missed by 5 cents. But our capacity went fine. But that's going to be contingent on how fast the travelers come back because the corporations really did stop flying. Like the planes got empty really fast. The hotels cleaned out super fast. That was a huge problem. And we got to reboot it. And that has to happen pretty much right now. They're saying that the airlines are still going to be delayed through Thanksgiving or close to Thanksgiving, but that's going to be a real big deal. A real big deal.
I'm not going. I was going to travel, and now I'm not. So I can't imagine how many other people are making similar decisions. But it seems like the market is giving them a pass and looking past this for now. But they need to have a big holiday season and figure this out.
Yeah. Well, you need to come back. You can't cut it off. And I think that really kind of helped get the deal done in terms of getting the government unshut down because once the corporations got hit, once the low end consumer got hit, it's one thing to hear the poor people complain, but the guys who are donating real big dollars. All of a sudden it's like, okay, I guess we can come to a deal because you're pretty much the teat that we suck at in corporate and the government America. So,
well, and I think once you affect like the airports and the airlines, then like it pisses off people. Like then people like really feel it and start complaining. I had a situation trying to get home this weekend.
Yep.
It sucks, dude.
It sucks. And it's the whole country. That's what I'm saying before. The SNAP benefits piss off. And then you get into this whole, we're talking about welfare queens again. Just noise. Just everyone's bitching at each other. You shut down the airlines, every single man, woman, and child in the entire country's pissed. And rip snorting pissed. So, that gets things done.
So speaking of, bitching at each other, let's go back to Disney. I think you were just looking through the report. The big story today is this little, fight that YouTube TV is having with ESPN and other Disney properties over sports. This, in the past, correct me if I'm wrong, would have lasted a day or 2 days, and Disney would have gotten paid what they want. How should investors kind of read into the power dynamic here between these two massive companies?
Disney's going to cave. You know, it's or you're going to see kind of the rise of the Sling, you know, the Roku's, the Sling, people that can provide an alternative and kind of get away from that. But you take away Monday Night Football, that smacks of a little bit of the airline type of problem where everybody gets pissed. We all like Monday Night Football. This country doesn't do a whole bunch of things as one unified being, but we like to watch Monday Night Football and tweet about it. And, you know, they're cutting that off. That's a real damn problem.
Yeah, not cool. So it's been going on for almost 2 weeks now, right? I couldn't watch a lot of the college games either this weekend. And
if they're still trying this, it's that's when it gets to be bloody knuckles, and we'll see, because we got the college championships, we got the conference title games coming up. That's all on ESPN. That's a huge deal. ESPN is really kind of the moneymaker for Disney now. Moneymaker are the sports in the parks. Parks weren't great. They're having the attendance is down. They're charging more, and the revenues are actually falling. That's a problem. Cruise ships are crushing, but at the end of the day, man, if they don't have ESPN cooking, if their sports aren't working, you don't have a lot of reasons to own Disney stock anytime soon. And you know, that's what the chart is, just screaming apathy right now, and that's kind of why.
I try to think of these things in the simplest way possible, and I can't help but think Disney needs the money more than Google. Right. So that's kind of the power dynamic. And this is how the Mag 7s throw their weight around. It's how Walmart throws their weight around, all these big companies. But Disney can't compete with Google when it comes to just the position that they're in from a cash position.
And they can't compete from a consumer value provided position. YouTube TV is a terrific product. That's just a great product. Beats the crap out of cable boxes. I'm paying Disney $12.99 a month, which I only know because they took away my goddamn Monday Night Football. And it's like, what the hell? Aren't I paying these people something? And I can't watch the Packers lose? I live to watch the Packers lose. Are you shitting me? And I'm paying them $13 a month. That's not going to last. I will for sure give up my Disney, my ESPN, all of that garbage goes away way before YouTube TV does. And so they're going to win on that dynamic.
Also now, like they've annoyed me, so I don't want to pay them. I think they raised their prices, Jeff, because I had to go to the ESPN app to try to get the sports package, and it was like they were trying to sell me some bundle for like $30 a month. I don't know if they just did that because they figured a lot of people would be coming over with what's going on, but that's fucked up if they did.
It's dumb. It's a misread. Read the room, guys. You know, you don't have the clout you used to. Freaking, you got to get your shit together and you got to get the deal done. People want their Monday Night Football. You take away the Big Ten championship and stuff, and it's just going to be, people are more than happy to shit on Disney. And especially because you're raising your prices at the parks. They've got weird stuff, like disproportionate numbers of adults at the parks. You know, it's be a wonderland for people like JC and his kids. Don't be just a freak show kind of weird, so overpriced kind of Vegas light type of experience. That's not good for them. They got to get away from that.
Jeff, let's get to what the people really want to hear about. The most exciting time of the year is basically upon us now. For retailers, some of these businesses, I know that you're still diving in, looking through, trying to find the best stories for this holiday season, but retail businesses, some of these businesses are very unique in a way that this season, this sales period of the year makes their whole year. What are some of those big stories going to be? What are some of the names that you're looking at?
Well, we got earnings next week. And so you got Home Depot, that tells you about your housing. That's going to be your housing data de facto. You got Walmart on Thursday. That's the big daddy. You got Target, you got TJ Maxx. You know, you want to talk about a stock with a nice looking chart? Look at TJX. It's just a beautiful little uptrend there. It just kind of does nothing but does nothing but good things. So steady and just kind of quietly, it pays off like a freaking broken slot machine. It's not sexy, it's not fun to people other than me, but you know, I think it's great. You got Gap setting up as an interesting potential gap fill going on right there, because they tanked in the beginning of the year, kind of mid-year. They came out and they were basically like, you know, we don't really have a tariff plan. The street didn't like it, took it down quite a bit, but it's up about 20% in the last 2 months. That's pretty good. That looks like it could fill that little gap right there. No, it's a hard chart to hate, and you can kind of play it. We talked about trading the options, Sean McLaughlin, just yesterday. And so, you know, it's you can kind of pay for some calls by selling some puts, and I don't mind owning that at about 20. This Gap and Cisco, they actually peaked in 1999, kind of within like a few weeks of one another, which is crazy. It was a different world. We were wearing khakis, buying routers. It was just kind of nuts. But yeah, it's so I'm thinking that, you know, that's either it's a coiled spring is what it looks like. 2.5 decade-long coiled spring, ready to go up there for gap, or ready to do something. Point being, though, it's not going bankrupt. They're not going to disappear. So whatever the report is fine. I see someone ask about American Eagle. That chart looks pretty good. That pulled back, and it's a great looking company because expectations are low. You're talking about nearly single digit type of priced earnings. Not that much has to go right for them. It's you guys love the scandal stuff. Everyone's just talking about, if Sydney Sweeney and Nazi. It's like, shut the hell up. It's
still
about
talking
selling
about her,
blue
though.
jeans.
It's amazing.
Exactly. So go to the store. More people than expected are going to buy blue jeans. And that's what matters from the stock perspective. And kind of the rest of it, that's awesome that people are arguing about it, pretending like traffic's down. No one's talked about American Eagle in 15 years for any damn reason. Any noise around them is good. That's a good thing to have happening in American Eagle.
Sydney Sweeney is hotter than Palantir this cycle.
She's more volatile. I'll tell you that.
The silver bump.
OnCloud reported amazing results yesterday. You know what? It turns out putting good looking people in your product and taking really nice pictures of them, that's a good strategy for driving sales. And I think that was the real secret mix that they were going for with Sydney. That's what Zendaya's doing over at On. I don't really want to be long on right here because it's kind of a scary looking chart. It's a hard time to be that expensive. But American Eagle, that works. And I think they're going to work into Christmas as well.
Are they still taking share on? Like, is the trend in them capturing market share still up and to the right?
Crushing. It's slowing down in a mature kind of way, but they came out. It's like listening to guys in a Swiss lab, like a Bond villain type of vibe that you get from their conference calls. So it's just some Swiss guy like, we will never take discounts, Mr. Bond. There will be no discounts at Christmas. You will pay $270 for the shoes that your child wants. And
the shoes are everywhere.
Like, well, shit, I guess we will.
What are some of the best deals for consumers going to be this holiday season? Like, where should I shop the deals?
You should go just give in. You can't overpay for Christmas, man. It's stop looking for bargains. Stop. What the hell are you doing? Come on. Are you going to put a price on a child's memories? You know who
I'm here for the deals.
Christmas presents? The Son of Sam. Charles Manson didn't get a lot of Christmas presents. So why don't you pay up? Why don't you go buy some ons? They even mentioned the cool kids. The guy's like, the cool kids, they're wearing the ons. And it's like, hey, Swiss man, I believe what you're saying.
Is this guy Swiss or is he German? I'm not sure.
He's doing a little Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've got limited repertoire when it comes to accents, but it's people can tune in for themselves and kind of judge it. But the point is, they were frighteningly good, incredible margins, like almost 70% margins, just bonkers. It's working. It's working as a company, not as a stock.
I feel so old and unstylish wearing my Nikes around.
Where you could shop is TJ Maxx. TJ Maxx reports next week. We mentioned them already. It's just an uptrend, and it's super simple model. It's like every 10th thing you see in our stores going to be just ridiculously underpriced. It's a treasure hunt.
And I love TJ Maxx for that reason, because I love to shop the deals.
Well, there you go. So you see, we found it. This is what the holidays are about, Strazza.
I want to bring Sean out.
Now we're together.
I want to bring Sean out with Jeff because they went shopping and the video is out, and I want to talk about that. So, Sean, let's do this.
Oh, look at this. Jeff, it's 6:30 in the morning where you are. Where do you find that energy, man? I'm impressed.
Caffeine mostly and no carbs. I tell you what, I wake up just aggravated as hell. And but no carbs means no hangover, and I think that's kind of it all flows from the same source.
You've been on fire this morning. I've been enjoying everything you've been saying. This is great.
Thank you, my friend. Where's your denim? What are you doing?
Sorry, bells are ringing all over the place. Where's my denim? I'm not prepared for these things.
I want to mention, if you haven't seen it, the video is up on YouTube, and the link is also in the chat. Sean and Jeff and Herb Greenberg went shopping a few weeks back, and Jeff kind of showed them and showed everyone by extension how to shop like an investor. So it's on YouTube, but if you go to the link in the chat, you'll also get access to Jeff's free report, his 5 favorite stocks for the holiday season. So check out the video. We have a screenshot of it right now, but it's on YouTube and it's on our site.
And it was fun. And I tell you what, we found some good stocks. We should have bought Gap while we were out there in the stores. We saw American Eagle not breaking down. And we also went to Dick's Sporting Goods, and we saw that ONs were still taking share. that they were still kind of the hard to find, hard for even dicks to keep in stock on. That was your tell that they were going to have a pretty good quarter. Do you want to hang out for that? Nope. But do you mind a 20% upside trade? Not at all. And so
I'll tell you what, Jeff. When we were at Dick's, we tried on a bunch of shoes. I bought a pair of shoes. I bought the Hokas for running. I wanted some running shoes. I'll tell you what, man. I feel like I'm literally running on air with these things. It's been
Are they nice?
Purchase. I'm very pleased with that purchase.
That's outstanding. That and I'm kind of an on guy, but you know what we learned from that too is Nike's not really gonna come back. Nike didn't have a damn thing that is gonna take that higher end shelf space. Hoka's, I don't like Deck. I don't like either one of those stocks. They've both been kind of murder, but it's you look at the Hoka's, they're not giving up shelf space. Ons aren't giving up shelf space because Nike doesn't have anything as good. They don't have a comparable offering that's both kind of trendy and going to give you that smooth ride that you're looking for as a jogger.
Yeah, that was the thing that definitely stood out. It was Ons and Hoka's that were dominating the shelves.
Sean,
what the hell is that cowbell? We need less cowbell.
Sean's getting filled over there.
In case you guys don't know, the market just opened, and
wait, what?
There are alerts going off like crazy when the market opens here at my house.
That's true.
Outstanding. Okay. Sure.
Yeah, yes. Sorry about all the bells and whistles. Nothing I can do, fellas.
That would make me a little squirrel killer lunatic pretty fast there if I had those kind of bells going on.
Well, it generally is pretty active in the first 5 minutes the stocks are opening, and then the rest of the day it's pretty normal. But
okay.
A lot of stocks hitting triggers, man. I got trades to make here.
Sure.
Sean, what should we be looking for out here from an options point of view?
Well, I'll tell you, man, I've been getting a lot of questions from my community and All-Star Options, as well as just on Twitter and various places. People want to talk about hedging. Now, I'm not sure that hedging is the thing that we all need to be doing, but people want to know. And I think that's coming from a place that, we've been seeing rotation happening in stocks. A lot of the high beta names have faltered. That some of these stocks that had huge runs in August, September, October have pulled back significantly. And so people's accounts, depending on, where you're picking your targets are getting, I don't want to say they're getting chopped up, but they're not making any headway. And so they're asking me, hey, my portfolio is dripping money here. What can I do? And so what I've been talking a lot about lately with people is selling call spreads in index options, particularly the SPX, because it's cash settled. So I've been kind of walking people through some strategies for selling call spreads, because what that does, Spencer, is the market doesn't need to crash. So when people think of hedges, they're thinking of hedging against a directional move against them, right? Like the market going down big and you're holding a whole lot of long stock like I am, right? Well, what if the market just kind of sits and goes sideways and doesn't do anything? And if you're someone like me who's holding lots of options positions, you're getting dripped with theta. Theta is basically, options decay every day, and they decay more as we get closer to expiration. So if you're sitting in a big options portfolio and the market's going sideways, even though the market isn't going down, you're probably losing every day while that's happening. So the way you could offset that with call spreads in the SPX is, even if the market doesn't go down, if it just sits right where it is, those spreads can pay. Now, how aggressive you want to be with that is up to you. That's dealer's choice, so to speak. But I've been talking to people through this, like, hey, you might want to start considering selling call spreads, because look, if you lose on these spreads, you only lose really one way if the market keeps going up, right? Well, the whole point of a hedge is, you kind of want to lose, because that means the rest of your portfolio is probably doing pretty well. So I don't know. That's what's on my mind right now, Spencer. I'm getting a lot of questions about this.
All right, hedging against time as well as price. Right?
That's right. That's right. That's the options give us options, we say around here all the time, and options give us a lot of tools, a lot of ways to play the markets. And my collar's all looking funny. Sorry, look at me. It's early here. I'm all disheveled.
Sean's got a lot going on. You're going live at 3:00 today, right, for the jam session?
I am. Yes, I am.
Great. So we got that to look forward to. We got a big day on the channel. We had Sean. We got the Gold Rush. We got Kenny going live tonight, 8:00. The link was in the chat. I'll put it on the screen one more time. I'll talk about the open house again tomorrow and as well as next week. So a lot going on here. We got Jeff Macke getting ready for next week. Because Jeff, the point I was trying to tee you up for was that, yes, we have earnings, but we get earnings every quarter. What's cool about next week is that it's earnings in an economic data vacuum. So you're really going to get, to quote you, the best read through of the economy next week through these companies.
And I've been saying for years that Walmart's the best read that you get of the economy, because that's actually what Americans are really doing. It's not what they're telling some pollster, and it's not some screwed up government data. It's actually what's happening in the economy. And when you pile them up like this over the course of 5 days, this close to Christmas, it's always the most important quarter of the year, third quarter. But this year, it's every economic indicator you need. If you give a crap about the fundamentals at all, you got to be tuning in, or at least you got to be letting me translate it for you, because there's a lot of gobbledygook. I'm not going to lie.
All right, go watch the video on YouTube of Sean and Jeff and Herb shopping like an investor. Watch Sean try to find himself a jean jacket. While you're at it, you can get Jeff's free report, first favorite holiday stocks. And Sean will go fix his collar. We'll all go make some money. Everyone, have a good rest of your day. We'll see you around, all right?
Beautiful.
Tomorrow.
Merry Christmas, everyone.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know